Now, when I talked to people about what I was doing, they told me that in order to make my story truly compelling, what I need to do is talk about how I obtained some goal in face of some prickly obstacle. So this schematically is what I should do. There's me obtaining goal in face of prickly obstacle. This is where I ran out of gas. I did not have a goal. So what I did is I had a one-man breakout brainstorming session. One-man breakout brainstorming sessions are effective because you don't have to write down other people's stupid ideas. So these are the results of my one-man breakout brainstorming session, the results of it, and here it is. So my first one is goal. Just the fact that I was doing this meant I was already well on my way, which is my first goal, which is to get some goals. But I didn't stop there. I want to make my story truly compelling. I went on to goal number 2, which is I want to make money talking about achieving my goal. So it would seem that I had a compelling story, that I could get up in front of people and talk about achieving my goal, which was to get some goals in face of the prickly obstacle, which was the absence of a goal. Problem was, I found I wasn't making a lot of money talking about achieving this goal. So I went back to my breakout brainstorming session and I updated my goal. I added goal 2.1. I didn't think it deserved to be goal 3. So goal 2.1, which is find out why I'm not making money talking about achieving my goal. What I found was the obstacle to obtaining my goal, which was to make money talking about my goals. The obstacle to that was that the corporate managers did not like the title of my presentation, Why Work? Their reaction was, well, why hire the guy? And I apologize, some of these slides are a little hard to read. I'm having a little trouble with the software that generates these slides. But once I get the bugs out of the code, I will be making it available on my website. And it will be available. It will be available on a 5.25-inch floppy disk, compatible with all Atari 800 computers. So keep an eye out for that. So what I did to overcome these humorless managers that did not like my title, Why Work, I came up with alternative titles. So when I'm talking to them and pitching, going to give a presentation, I have my other presentation titles, which are the 3 popular ones are these, is Working Harder for Less Pay, Managers Like That title a lot, Vacations Are for Lightweights, and increasingly popular these days is a 3rd one, and that's Living Without Health Care, What Do Doctors Know Anyway? Now, positive thinking people, they say do not worry about obstacles, focus just on the goal. There is the goal. Forget about the obstacle. Pretend it doesn't exist. I tried this. What I find happens if I ignore the obstacle is what happens is that the obstacle ends up just eating me alive till I become part of the obstacle. And this happened to my father. My father's initial goal was a fairly modest goal. My father's initial goal was just that he wanted to have a comfortable life. The initial obstacle to him having a comfortable life was a small obstacle that started out with just, wife and 2 kids. This is not a surmountable obstacle. But my father did not pay attention to this obstacle. He only focused on the goal. And what happened is that the obstacle ended up growing until there were 8 kids. So my father was not able to find a way over to a comfy life. Now this brings me to my favorite part of my presentation. This is where I get to talk about myself, my history of working. This is where I came from. This is where I came from. I'm originally from Western New York State. That is the name of the hometown that I grew up in. Horseheads, New York. That's the real name of the town. I'm not making it up. I did not think it was a funny name for a town until I moved away. And people let me know that that was a funny name for a town. Now, a lot of towns and villages further to the East Coast, they named them after towns and villages from like the UK or Europe, but the further they went inland, they started to run out of ideas. By the time they got to my hometown, they had resorted to animal parts. I would like to point out that where I grew up is right on the border between the state of New York and the state of Pennsylvania. I would like to point out that this border is a straight line. When the border between two states is a straight line, that means when they were dividing up this part of the country, nobody gave a shit about this area.